Good afternoon, heroes of the Storm gamers. We have got some news, a little bit of an update, if you will. February 19th, 2026, they released a small patch to the live servers, directly out to the live servers. We have some balance updates and a couple bug fixes. Let's get into it. Deathwing, Incinerate, that's the W. Cooldown increased from 6 seconds to 7 seconds. The level 7 talent death drop, the duration of the spell armor has been decreased from 6 seconds to 4 seconds. So, just little tweaks to the oversized bat. Mirrodin. Base Stormbolt quest requirements reduced from 50 and 200 thresholds to 40 and 160. So 40 should make the early game a little bit easier to hit, and then of course the 200 going down to 160 should make that late game requirement a lot easier to obtain for y'all. Talents, level 1, give them the axe. Bonus damage has been reduced from 50% to 40%. Level 4, Sledgehammer, now also reduces the cooldown of Stormbolt by 1.5 seconds. Not too shabby. Level 7, Perfect Storm, the internal cooldown reduced from 10 seconds to 8.5 seconds. Now also restores 25 mana on reset. And level 13 trait, Healing Static. Heal per hero hit increased from 5% to 6%. So just a little bit of an uptick. Not too bad for our boy Mirrodin. Murky. Base, the spawn egg. Revive shield duration increased from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. So when Murky respawns, he gets a little bit of a shield. We get to hold that shield a little bit longer. Realistically, this lets him put the egg a little bit farther away from where he wants to get back to. Level 10 talents. Level 10, March of the Murlocs. Cooldown reduced from 110 seconds to 100 seconds. So we're going to see the little, we're going to get that a little bit more often. Level 13, Eggshell. Shield increased from 35 to 50% of Murky's health, and the shield now lasts until it is destroyed. Lasting until it's destroyed is kind of nice, I think. And then getting a bigger bonus to of his health pool is also going to be nice. Level 20, Never Ending March, will now last a minimum of 7 seconds, even if it's stopped. So this is a nice quality of life change for Murky. It used to be that if you heard the horn, you could stun him and immediately cancel it. So once he's initiated it, it's going to last a bare minimum of 7 seconds, even if you stun him out of it. So it doesn't feel as bad for Murky to try to use it in CC against CC heavy groups. A couple more little tweakies. Sylvanas, level 7 Lost Soul, extra 10% damage provided by Lost Soul has been removed. You don't get any more bonus damage. You're doing enough. Tyrande, whatever her name is. Base, Luna Flare. Mythic reward requirements reduced from 45 hits to 40 hits. Make it a little bit easier to get that mythic reward off of her Luna Flare. So that's it for the the fixes, the tweaks, stuff like that. On to bug fixes. Couple battlegrounds. Hanamura Temple, the Samurai Sentinel camp is now properly displayed with a bruiser icon. Just in case you weren't aware, the samurais are bruisers. Who knew? Brax's holdout fixed an issue that caused terrain to be rendered incorrectly. I never saw that myself. I'm curious to know what it would have looked like. If anybody knows or has like some gameplay footage of it, drop a comment down below. Heroes. So these are bug fixes for heroes. Asmodan, level 4 Battleborn, now properly reduces the cooldown of Demon Lieutenant. Level 10 Blackpool now properly deals reduced damage to non-heroes. That's interesting. Maybe he's been spiking structures and minions and critters a little bit too much. Deathwing, base, form swap. AI can no longer use the removed form swap ability. So, if you're not familiar, Deathwing used to have an ability that would let him swap between forms. And in the previous change of this month, they removed it. He has to go up in the air, and then when he lands, he chooses a form. He can't change that form until he goes back up in the air. And I guess what was happening is they removed the ability for players to do it, but the AI, the bots, they were just out there changing form willy-nilly, doing what they wanted to do. So now the bots don't get to cheat. Gul'dan, level 16, Ruinous Affliction, fixed an issue that caused Ruinous Affliction to deal bonus damage on the 3rd and 5th hit instead of the 3rd and 6th hit. Okay. More of a timing issue with his little doop doop doop, the little bloop, bloop, bloop thing that happens, but okay. Jaina, base, frostbite trait. Fixed an issue that caused Ice Block to not show the correct cooldown value in the tooltip. That's important. I don't know about y'all, but I look at the tooltips to see how long until something's coming back. So if it was giving an incorrect value, that definitely would have irritated me. It also fixed an issue that caused Ice Cold to allow Jaina to move through pathing blockers and stationary targets. They allowed her to start moving with Ice Cold, and apparently there was some clipping issues. She was able to move through blocks and stationary targets. We got 3 or 4 more. Mirrored in, couple little fixes. Dwarf Toss. Don't throw the dwarf. Fixed an issue that caused Dwarf Toss to go on cooldown when used on individual terrain. And level 1 Dwarf Block can no longer stack beyond 3 charges. Murky will no longer revive faster and words are hard. We're going to retry that one. Murky will no longer revive faster than intended. Sometimes being a little pain in the butt's great, but he would come back a little bit too quickly. Murky's level 20 talents have been rearranged to match skill order. And base, Pufferfish W, Puffed Up will now display first in the buff bar. And fixed an issue that caused Murky to lose his increased size after death. It's not supposed to lose he's supposed to be a big Murky, not a little Murky. Spawn Egg, fixed an issue that caused Murky to respawn faster than intended. This is specifically what we saw here. Level 1 Shell Game. Shell Game now shows the trait button for the talent instead of an active button. Shell Game, I'm not a big fan of this. I used to like to place the fake ones, and you really don't get to do that now. But you get 2 that you can spawn from instead of 1 that you spawn from and fake ones. So it's a little bit more, but the drawback is that it's a random choice. The game chooses for you which one you respawn at. Level 20 Faster Fish. Faster Fish now also causes the animation of Pufferfish to play faster. And Faster Fish now shows the W button for the talent instead of the trait button. Just some user interface stuff. Rhaegar, Elemental Conduit at level 20. Fixed an issue that caused Elemental Conduit's shields to not refresh for 5 seconds. And fixed an issue that caused Elemental Conduit's refresh to search for allies to give the shield around the hit. What? Oh my god, we need an IKEA manual. Fixed an issue that caused Elemental Conduit's refresh to search for allies to give the shield around the target's hit instead of Rhaegar's location. I got lost 4 times trying to read that. Thrall, Echo of the Elements. Fixed an issue that caused Echo of Elements bounces to bounce to cloaked targets. That's got to suck. You know, when I first started, I used to be worried that I would cloak and that somebody would hit one of the little healing orbs and it would fly to my location. This is what was happening. The elements were bouncing to a cloaked target, and the enemy's like, why'd it bounce over there? Maybe there's an enemy there. What else? Level 7 Rolling Thunder. Rolling Thunder damages now displays as a crit. Big numbers. Level 16 Alpha Wolf. Alpha Wolf damage now displays as a crit. Big numbers. And last but not least, our girl, our lizard, our insect, Zagara. Infested Drop E. That's where she poos one out of the sky at you. Fixed an issue that caused the roaches melee attacks to launch missiles instead of directly hitting. Well, that's got to be awkward. I punch you with a rocket. And fixed an issue that caused the roaches to not display correctly in the death recap. That's what we got. Again, this is the Heroes of the Storm live update from February 19th, 2026. And I'm about to record today's Heroes of the Storm game, so wish me luck. I will see you guys inside the Nexus.